There are times when video game marketing showcases something that just looks too good to be true. This has happened over and over again in the industry. For example, back in E3 2012 with Watch Dogs. The game looks and feels ahead of its time, only to later get a game that looks nothing like what it was shown. Or even recently, as reputable as CD Projekt Red, known for their Witcher series, Cyberpunk was also something that was too good to be true. Their reputation and marketing convinced thousands that everything that they showed before launch was real. Anyone remember the Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay reveal with the narrator that sounds like he's trying to sell you things like a video game infomercial? 'Cause I do.
Jackie's car is a super-powered sports car running on Chew 2, the super fuel of the future.
I spent $59.99 pre-ordering that game. I didn't even get to perch on a wall. Instead, I get this. Fortunately, it went on a huge redemption arc and became one of the best redemption stories in gaming. Largely also due to Cyberpunk Edge Runners. If you haven't tried Phantom Liberty, highly recommend it. It's probably one of the best expansions I've ever played. Okay. But the point is, games can be deceiving. With trailers, cinematic trailers, gameplay preview, it builds hype, which is great, but it ultimately doesn't really matter if the final game, the final product, doesn't live up to everything that is shown. So can you really blame me when I saw Crimson Desert and I immediately had doubts? Crimson Desert was first shown around 2019, but it really caught my eye during the 2023 trailer. Cause yeah, combat looks good, visually it looked good, but as the trailer kept going and going, it just kept getting crazier. There were air balloons, Assassin's Creed style climbing, pole jumping, Batman gliding, Shadow of the Colossus monster climbing, Tears of the Kingdom sky falling, and at some point me and my friend was like, okay, this game just wants to be everything. So yeah, I really thought that this game was gonna be another, oh, this looks too good to be true scenarios. But then they kept showing more and more and more, and people were invited to try the game, and overall they gave positive impressions. And then I started thinking, what if it is real? Well, if it is, I can definitely say it'll be one of the most impressive games of 2026. Or hell, even maybe the past decade. The world looks really pretty. There's different environments and different capitals that you can explore, kind of like an RPG. They're using an in-house engine, but I don't know how to describe it. At times it looks similar or even better than UE5. But at the same time, it also doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like Black Myth Wukong or even the Oblivion remake. It's weird because at this day and age, you can kind of tell when a game uses Unreal Engine 5. I don't know, there's something about UE5 that makes hyper-realistic game look similar to each other. I don't know. And typically when a game runs on UE5, it's typically unoptimized. So color me impressed when I saw Crimson Desert and it looks like it has the effects of Unreal Engine and visual almost similar to Unreal Engine, and apparently it's really optimized. I also like the Ghost of Yotei and Breath of the Wild take of the open world, where you can just see so many points of interest from an elevated spot. Speaking of Zelda, there's a lot of Tears of the Kingdom vibes out of this game, like the skydiving and the puzzles. It just looks like if someone decided to make a hyper-realistic Zelda. The other games that Crimson Desert has a similar vibe with as well is Dragon's Dogma and probably Skyrim. Maybe it's cause of its fantasy-esque feel and monsters that are in the game. Personally, I really like Tears of the Kingdom and Dragon's Dogma 2, but man, I'd be lying if I said those two scratched that free-roaming fantasy itch I've had for a while now. I didn't get my free roam sandbox fantasy fix since like, I don't know, Skyrim. Which is funny because sometimes I look at this game and at times it looks like Skyrim with those max mod packs. Technically, Elden Ring did give me that fix, and if I were to talk about Elden Ring, this would be a whole different video. In short, Elden Ring will forever be one of my top 10 games I've experienced, ever. The lore, the missable dungeons, the world, the boss fights, everything in Elden Ring is simply amazing. and it's really hard for a game to achieve that feat. But at the same time, I'm also a sucker for classic fantasy. Something like Skyrim or Dragon's Dogma 2, or even Zelda at times. So I'm really hoping Crimson Desert can help me with that fix. And if it doesn't, well, there's always Fable, I guess. There's another thing that Crimson Desert looks to excel at, and I am quite hyped for. I would say it got me more intrigued than Elden Ring and the Elder Scrolls series. And that might just be the combat. It looks quite in-depth, especially after watching that GameSpot video previewing the combat. It looks to have something similar to Devil May Cry or like Ninja Gaiden elements, and it seems like you can lab the combat for cool combos. Like, there's something of a fighting game gimmick to it, like wall splatters and grabs too, even environmental interactions. Outside of your main character's combat, there's mechs, jetpacks, 2 other characters that seem to have different playstyle, and dragon riding. If anything, I'm really hoping the combat and gameplay feels good, cause I'm being sold with what they're selling. Mind you, all that I'm describing is just from seeing very little of what they had to show for the couple of years. I've been trying not to watch too much of the trailers and previews to not spoil too much. In terms of story, I'm still in the dark on it. I heard there's not really an RPG dialogue system where like the story could change from it, but I don't know, I think that's alright, if the game is fun at the end of the day. So far from the past few weeks, I've seen people get invited to try it out, and the game is real, but if Monster Hunter Wilds and Cyberpunk 2077 taught me anything, it's that until it's officially out, it still has a chance to fuck up. So whilst I may be hyped from everything that they've shown, I'll temper my expectation until I get to play it.